yesterday how he was the guy, right? And if you look at just the drafts that he often picks, he picks very straightforward heroes for his team at TI. He wants to make sure that whatever players he has, they can execute at a high level, so he just makes things easy for them.
Yeah. I mean, you go back to like TI2 era when he was captaining LGD, they went undefeated in their group stage, and it was picking the same 4 Protect 1. He kind of was the at least innovator of 4 Protect 1 back then. Did it over and over again. The problem at some point it was like too repetitive, teams figured them out, then they couldn't adapt. But he's consistently sticks to his guns, drafting what's comfortable for him and his team.
TI is a long game. It's really about consistency and making sure that more than anything that your players feel comfortable, and they're going to run the same stuff that they have over and over again. But NaVi, Zendy running this Mirana, been very successful on this hero. They lost with it against what was that team? TNC, but hopefully they can pick it up as LG. They're going to smoke in, immediately find Didya Ra.
There's a disruption onto the Ursa. This is looking like a potential first blood. That 5-man rotation finds a kill.
Oh, and it was the kill for the Death Prophet. This is huge for the Death Prophet versus Mirana lane, just because Death Prophet already has a successful laning phase against most mid heroes, and to give her the bounty rune and also the first blood, you're just boosting everything right now.
Well, it's a successful stop. I mean, it will be MMY playing that First Spirit. So perhaps a hero that may be separate to play in the past, but another top rune fight. General is going to get found the Orb of Venom Slow with the Spirit Cypher. This is a second kill for LGD. NaVi's woes continue. He won't make it to the bounty rune.
The two best heroes to get kills. They get one on aggressive Slark as well. You'd really like that on him, just so he gets an even better laning phase, as nobody's really going to go up there to contest him. Although, as I say, that art style makes his way up.
And I mean, the other thing, like getting a first blood in here like Death Prophet, it just means you also don't have to buy that salve. Often you want to get that salve from it if you're going to be trading hits, but you're already on 500 gold. You're so close to your bottle, you can save that extra 100. You almost guaranteed need a salve against bounty, but game not going to be the case.
Yeah, and the bounty hunter, so it doesn't actually have that sentry warden.
Oh, bit of a misplay there from MY. He had Dust. Dust would have been close to a kill there, depending on with the Spirit Siphon, probably could have gotten it, but.
Regardless, Dendi having to resort to arrowing creeps right now as he already has that bottle. And I think Seneko might go for the bottle snipe, or at least continue to try to harass, because this lane does not get easier. As a mid player, I know that Prophet is perfectly fine trading hits, even with the bounty hunter here. As soon as he has 2 levels of it, and watch him go, he's going to turn this around on Dendi.
Dendi used the leap and everything. Maybe he's not going to chase it down any further. He is alone in a 1v2, but perhaps now he's thinking, do I need to get that salve or not? But top lane where the next bit of engagement is going to break out. It's MMY for another kill in general. He's going to get disrupted at just the right time. Banana making the saves, but Artstyle there figures out the real one. Gets the kill, then gets the grave as well. Aggressive. He's going to keep getting hits traded with General. Finally, they end up getting the kill here. Artstyle completely out of mana. The Shadow Poison's going to start adding up now as all aggressive hits the pounce, and that'll be a second kill for LGD. Aggressive with 7 drops of the Essence Shift.
This is absolutely massive right now for LGD. Is the laning phase for them has completely gone their way, and NaVi is a team that I typically see an okay laning phase out of, especially with Seneko running around, but they've largely neutralized this bounty hunter set.
And Tide is, and with Dazzle top, Tide's in a 1v1. This is a lane Tide can destroy, in theory.
He does okay, at least. And the Ursa is going to have a rough time, because he does need some sort of slow to be able to kill the Tide, and without that available, as long as Xiao 8 is careful of the Fury swipes, kind of just like that Bat Rider matchup we often see with the sticky charges.
Oh, they've caught Seneko.
He's
Man, they'll chase him down here. Maybe he's gonna try and prevent the deny with the Crypt Swarm. Nicely played there. Easy kills going LGD's way. 5 kills in 2.5 minutes, and MMY making the plays happen on Earth Spirit so far.
LGD, from the get-go with that opening smoke, have just looked so sharp. Laning phase-wise, no doubt about it, LGD have really taken the lead. And it's not like things get easier from here, David. We talked about how the laning phase post that, once you just run at people with the Tidehunter and the Death Prophet, it's going to be incredibly hard for NaVi to test.
And you've got some heroes that take a while to kind of come online. Like Mirana is not a hero that wants to fight necessarily.
Xiao 8's getting quite low as Seneko's going for the bounce. The body block.
Serious body blocks.
Do they have it?
Yeah. The boots and the wind lace on Ursa, they'll chase him all the way down. So a slight salvation for the laning stage of NaVi, which was going very poorly here early on.
Yeah. The thing though is that was a one-on-one matchup, so any kills in that kind of is always going to help out quite a lot. And Aggressive is getting pressured pretty hard. For his troubles though, he does have 2 of the kills in the game.
I think lesser here that you're not totally worried if Slack is free farming or not. He's getting his levels. He's not getting completely bullied out of the lane. So, yeah. Nico sees a courier. One more right click. That'll be just enough damage to get it. Level 1 Janata.
Now he's starting to come online.
Yeah.
Kill at bottom and a courier kill immediately after. That's going to slow down. That's where LGD is.
That's exactly what NaVi needed. Like, given how poorly things started. More disruption up top there, looking for this one with the roll in. They hit the pounce on the art style as well. He graves himself early grave. Well, perhaps still going to be okay for him, but like you say, completely unnecessary early grave coming out from art style, who'll TP himself home. And that just kind of shows there are jitters in the NaVi camp when you make a grave like that. The calm play that we're used to seeing from them.
Yeah,
and it looks like they've gone in top, yeah. There's a disruption on the general into a rolling boulder, and they'll hit him with the stun, the pounce to follow in general. Well, Artstell's not there anymore. LGD, recognizing the weakness in this top lane, was Artstell's TP home, and they capitalized.
This is an 0-3 general right now, and they committed a lot to this, because if you would just let this Beastmaster jungle, he would be very close to 6 right now. There's not a whole lot that LGD do to contest, and I think the main reason they did that is because they don't want to have a free laning phase, so they camp heroes up here, but NaVi have just been brutalizing this lane so far. At some point, you kind of have to stop giving away these kills. That's a level 4 Shadow Demon in a lane where they tri-lane.
In general, typically the playmaker for NaVi, he's the player you want to see having a good game. When he has a good game, NaVi do well, and
yes, totally agree.
This is the one player which LGD have kind of recognized to shut down, and so far so good. Maybe hasn't even needed help in this mid lane since getting the first blood. He's taking on Dendi as well as Sneeko together. Has an early point in silence here. Won't chase for the kill just yet, but Dendi has to be very careful how he plays this.
I don't really want to go on to maybe is at top. The right thing is they contest that pull off. And it looks like they're kind of stabilizing, and they just have to be careful. They can't give away kills, that's the big thing. Contesting the lane is one thing, but eating away kills is another. Is you know now that Xiao 8 has that level 6, and if he can get his way down to the secret shop and just pick up a TP on the side shot.
Xiao. It looks like just throwing him out here. I don't imagine it's going to be dive of any sort into a Ravage and potential TP. Something like a Death Prophet TPs him with Spirit Siphon, you're in a world of pain. Very dangerous lanes now. That Tide Ravage, as you mentioned. You get the TP and you have that rotation potential.
NaVi are still doing okay in the lanes though. The Ursa and the Mirana are keeping up when it comes to net worth. It's just the other heroes is barely whiffing on that arrow, Dendi.
Yep. Well, it's Death Prophet leading the CS just barely. Yeah, you say all 3 lanes NaVi are CSing and well, and it's just been the kill deficit more than anything, but right now you're thinking we need the level 6s, we need Raw to come online. It's actually Artstyle who's higher level than the Beastmaster. Some of the deaths that happened,
and this is exactly what you want to do if you're NaVi playing with the Dazzle in the offlane. Oftentimes you're going to wonder why is the Dazzle spamming Shadow Wave, and so he can push up the lane and get the free pull on the side. Deny a lot of the creeps in the safe laner.
In classic Artstyle fashion, he's got farm, he's got that fast arcane boots. He's prioritizing some alone time. Here comes the kill attempt on Artstyle at top. They're gonna not kill him before the grave, and as a result he will TP out. Then why?
He goes to the Shadow Wave pop.
Won't be able to find that kill in time. They are still, let's say, are they still looking for the kill on top? It's General who's actually turning it around. Aggressive going to pop the ultimate just to get away from that Boris low. Still on his own for now. Ursa taking a early Roche here. Bounty Hunter's scouting protection. Seeing the Tide Hunter. It looks like Tide is just going to try and stack some Ancients here, but Sneeko there to mess him up. Tide will get this bottom rune. I wonder if he will poke his nose into Roche or not.
Maybe he should, just because he knows for a fact that nobody's a monster. It's not like Seneco's soaking XP there, and instead NaVi are just going to get a free Roche, and this is very big.
That Prophet swinging towards this top lane, but not going to find all too much either, so LGD have slowed down a bit, and just seeing like the net worths here, it is NaVi overall doing all right at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it's just been the overall play of this bottom lane so far. TI6 being able to zone out Xiaoyu now, and now the Mirana ulti is popped. They want to try to make a move up here. Dendi is rotated.
It was spotted though, with Death Prophet kind of in position in those trees, and it being daytime, so we'll just go for a push instead.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Arrow, scouting, will hit aggressive.
I think that's going to be enough though to signal a go.
That's got mana for ultimate as well, so very risky place to dive when Tide can TP in with Ravage. Diving past the T1 tower into the trees where you can't easily escape.
We still haven't seen that yet, and that's what LGD and NaVi are both waiting for, is to see how the first successful Ravage goes. It's going to determine the tempo of the game. If your first Ravage absolutely whiffs or you can't get an objective off of it, that's where NaVi will just continue to play very aggressively because their cooldowns are just so much shorter.
And I think that's where LGD are happy to hold the Ravage and just farm the Tide, because they know if they use Ravage in a team fight and don't have the best fight, they're going to quickly lose a ton of map control, potentially a tower or two. Holding Ravage and not using it in some ways can be beneficial, just because it prevents your opponents from playing aggressive.
It's the threat of the Ravage alone. It's kind of like whenever you play against an Enigma, but fortunately for LGD so far, they just need more kills than they're getting right now.
Top lane, they've gone in on Artstyle and the Dazzle. He had the silence this time, so no Grave initially, but he'll get it. Level 1 silence, not very long, and disrupt him. And aggressive, making sure he stays safe with the Shadow Dance. He's going to look for Saniko here. Needs to be careful. Beastmaster's got to roll, but General silenced up initially. Saniko low in the trees. That Shadow Poison missed. And now the roar is there. The roll doesn't actually hit him. General, if they can get this kill, it may be okay. The roll will land. Aggressive going to come back in with the Dark Pact to help secure the kill. Not the outcome LGD were quite hoping for, but still alright trade, all things considered. Dendi, stunned, silence. Dendi's caught out and brought down. Oh no, they were trying to just get too much with too little to use. Saniko was even hanging around, thinking he could help out on very low HP.
I think once that Ravage is popped, you give up the kill onto General. That's going to happen. You can't really prevent that. And you're happy that you don't lose the Bounty Hunter. And that was the first Ravage of the game, but instead they feed away a core kill and they lose General.
If anything, after that after the Ravage, you just regroup, heal up, and go pick towers or go fight.
I completely agree. I think that's NaVi just being a little bit more panicky and getting more greedy than they have to. Yeah. They should have been happy with the fact that their Bounty Hunter didn't die from that Ravage. It was the first usage. There was no objectives taken, and instead, NaVi just is heroes a little bit unnecessarily.
Well, for that, NaVi will still look to take objectives, but giving, like you say, giving up kills unnecessarily, so LGD getting a bit more perhaps than they should have. He recognized this. They're going to mount some pressure on mid, but it's the blink of Dichara catching Death Prophet by surprise, I can only imagine. Maybe though, heals up initially, the Spirit Siphon's there, but Dichara gets off just enough damage before getting stunned to bring down Death Prophet.
Got the blink back up.
He's not done, he wants Banana. This is track as well. Dichara getting his team a couple of kills. There's another track. Dendi has the Starstorm. This will be a close kill. Can he get it? Hits the stun. No roll for 8 seconds. Dendi's still chasing, but the slow from the Gush. For an arrow, but unlike the land, Dichara instead gets it. The Bouncing Shuriken was there to secure it as well if needed. And Zhao Wei being chased down. NaVi. This is more like the NaVi you expect. Diving towers, finding kills, but they dive too far. The Blink Dagger is ready. Council hit though perfectly fine from aggressive. He gets Dichara on the pop out. Will they have the damage though? Maybe's back. Doesn't hit the Crypt Former. Needed that to stop the blink.
Blink up.
Hit that and got a Spirit Siphon. Could have been a different story, but too much movement speed with the phase and Windlace. Casual Windlace definitely paying off there for Dichara.
Very well done though by NaVi overall. Ramping up the aggression that you really want to get. Utility out of that is bottom. Dichara just solo kills aggressive. Not what he expected is he didn't have that ultimate, and LGD are just getting sloppy as Roar at top.
One by one. It won't be a track kill as he krakens it off, but it's a kill nonetheless. And that was the 2-minute downtime between Ravages, and NaVi just run at them. That is what NaVi needs to be doing. Now Ravage is back up, but Exorcism is down, so in theory they could try and still fight around the fact that maybe he doesn't have his big ultimate. Perhaps a little bit riskier, but damage output isn't really there if they don't have Death Prophet's ultimate.
Yeah, NaVi had quite the rough laning phase, but
Oh god, he's just so farmed suddenly. What happened?
lots of solo kills, and that's been the story so far of this game. Is cores are dying on the opposite side of the map. That's the worst possible thing that you can hope for.
Well,
LGD need to regroup, get control of this bottom jungle area, put some wards down, and start getting aggressive with their Ravage. You've got to start frontlining with this hero. The problem, though, is what you really want to do when you're four-manning like that is have the Slark find the stragglers, but with absolutely no items to his name.
He's got Basher
Radiant's
13.5
bottom
minutes.
tower is under
I was
attack.
looking at his goal, 2.7k. I was like, is he going to buy a Basher? Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were like, the Slark has a Basher. I was like,
No.
he would be happy with that weird ad. Oh, this is...
He can actually like solo kill aggressive now from full HP if he gets the Bashes he needs.
Okay, so there's that level 11 hump, right, that we were talking about, where you get caught in that level 11, and once you get past that, your levels accelerate like crazy.
Yep.
But once it's getting past level 11, initially that's so difficult. We've got Ditya that's level 12 already. You compare him to Slark who just hit 9.
Oh, gonna
Give
delete.
Banana go.
Yeah, Nana pops the ultimate for good measure. But yeah, he is a full 2 levels ahead of Death Prophet, who's the next highest level here in the game, and
Yeah. They're gonna get stuck at level 11.
yep.
Gonna be looking at a 16 to 11 advantage as aggressive gets ported to up.
Vicious roar from General, but didn't get the mana burn off to stop the TP out. But either way, it forced them out. And meanwhile, NaVi, the rest of the team, trying to take mid. There is the Ravage here. Zhao wants to defend this, or at least he's making signs that he does.
This is the... If they were to whip on this Ravage, or it doesn't do enough damage, like they don't get 3 kills off of it, I think from there NaVi just take complete control of this game.
Yeah.
Gotta be so careful with how you use it. It is a double-edged sword, because once you reveal, oh, their offlaner no longer has the ability to fight, then NaVi just get aggressive all over like it did. And they're playing based off the cooldowns, which I think is incredibly smart.
And now, LGD, if they want to play with the cooldowns, it's going to come down to grouping up around this Ravage Exorcism. But you can't group up when you're losing heroes one by one.
This is...
Shadow Demon again caught out.
It's rare nowadays to see individual pickoffs, and as we say that, Dendi gonna get caught.
Dire's middle tower
That's
is under
twice now
attack.
where he's just been isolated from the rest of his team, being a little
Dire's
bit too
middle
greedy.
tower has fallen.
Overall though for NaVi, it hasn't been too costly yet. It has prevented the lead from getting as big as it could be. NaVi is showing that they're pushing mid, but really it looks like they want to defend bottom. Okay, never mind, a cancel TP from our style. Exorcism committed by Maybe. In the neighborhood is General with a roar. Can he get Maybe with this? Doesn't look like it. Here comes the TP in. Teacher right, he doesn't need the roar. He's going to annihilate the Death Prophet. And there's no punish from LGD. Already NaVi have gotten out of that middle lane where they were a little bit vulnerable.
They're gonna take this bottom tower and just swing into Roshan if they can. And LGD, they are not committing like they need to. We talked about how cooldowns are important for them. Items are not the big deal for them. They need to be able to take these fights, and it just seems like they're incredibly reluctant to.
Teacher up, purged up. That'll slow down his chasing and kill potential for now, but there is no way LGD can bring him down this moment.
Dire's bottom
Oh.
tower has fallen.
Suddenly signs of life from the NaVi camp, who sitting very low, second to bottom in the group. Making a case for a top 4 run here. There's still plenty of Dota to be played here in the Seattle TI6 group stages. Slack plating the Shadow Blade now. Maybe an item LGD were waiting for, but as you can, I definitely agree with what you're saying, where it's much more cooldown ulti dependent than item dependent.
Big thing for NaVi is they can't afford to lose individual heroes. They can't get picked off right now. Their strength is the fact that they can frontline with this Ursa, and he's so incredibly strong.
Here we go, they're going to try to fight around the Shadow Blade with the ultimate. Artstyle put out, where's the detection though? Hits the stun into the silence, it does dead, they'll bring down Artstyle. God, he made it hard. He got off the mech. Another purge on this Nico. Have they got any more detection? Doesn't look like it actually. It's aggressive. Scouts out General in the side. Maybe not looking for that kill just yet. Every time I click Deech, I'm just like, oh, wow, he's got another 2k gold. If your Ursa has these items at 20 minutes, you're happy. And he's got them at, he had them at like 14, and he's got another 2.3k gold here at 18 minutes in.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine. He's getting to that top, that 10k mark pretty quickly so far. Roshan is up now. that's probably going to be the next objective for LGD to fight over, as they do have that Ravage available. Chow8 has wisely decided to hold on to it, knowing that bigger fish to fry. Okay. This might actually...
He's alone. Yeah, that's not the trade you want. Vincere will give away a 922 gold streak to the Slark. That is...
Ooh. Yep. They were prepping for Roche too. If LGD, maybe they can just run in with Exorcism.
Yeah, they've got the damage with Exorcism to kill it. It's how long it's going to take and whether NaVi punish. With a Necro 3 on general, I think it is quite risky to go for it, even with Ursa dead.
Chow8 just farming along, probably going to go for that Blink Dagger next. Help it. LGD, they have so many items that they have to grab. At some point, somebody's gotta grab a gem. So you want to get clean initiations off if you can. There's already a mech completed on art style, as Indy's Marana just finishes up the Ags a little bit later than you expect in a game where they had so much control. Still decent time.
General's hunting. He's found Banana, but won't get in range for the Raw. Tried to swoop in from the trees, but hard to get that catch at daytime, and may lose some Necro books here. Or maybe says easy money.
It's 200 gold, man. And feed those away.
But yeah, Ursa giving away his life. That was a 900 gold streak. Then you the Necro money hero there, and you can quickly see LGD turn this one around. NaVi will secure themselves the next Roshan, or at least try to. LGD not in position just yet to contest this one. They've got Slark in the top lane. It looks like they're just going to they give this one up.
A little bit too shy.
I mean, given their vision, do you think that was the right play, just giving that up, or should they have tried to smoke and team fight?
Given their vision, it's really hard, but at the same time, they know they have Ravage, they still haven't expended it. I figured that's what they were waiting for that second Roche fight, but giving it to Diyara, who is already very hard to take down, and with how much farm that he has, 3k gold on him.
They did have smoke, so they could have just smoked out, and even if they're not roaching, find some kills.
Yeah. There was no Necro book either on the Beastmaster, which makes him a lot weaker as Artstyle's going to get jumped on. Where's the follow-up though?
Here comes the boulder smash, only catches the one. Artstyle being kind of left alone. Die for now. Does Ursa want to go in? Vincire's invised up, thinking about a turnaround. I like the item pickup from Chow8. He's got a 4-staff now. Opts for that over the Blink Dagger, and very useful item to help yourself and more importantly your team out against the Ursa.
Decent pickup, but it's still only the Dazzle. Meanwhile, up at top, Dendy's just farming out the Dire Jungle. Very typical to see out of these mobile cores, especially playing on Radiant. At the same time, if you're Navi, you really want to start utilizing this Aegis sooner than later. It's going to be your counter to the Tide Ravage that LGD relies on so heavily. So far, we've only seen one this game, and I think Chow8 is almost being a little bit too hesitant, but we'll see how the second Ravage of the game goes.
It feels like anytime they picked up as 5 and gone to NaVi, like they'd catch one, normally art style, and then nothing more. NaVi just always ditch art style, leave him to die.
This is a smart play to make.
Dyer's
But now they're gathered up, they've got Necro books up in 30 seconds. It looks like they have some ideas about pushing. Of course, they don't have their Aegis carrier near them though. Probably gonna grab that Abyssal if he wants it.
It's 3.8k gold.
Or even a BKB.
Yeah, BKB, Aghanim Scepter, where the BKB makes
Who's that?
sense.
It was CTY that used to always do that build, right? It was this item set into the Ags.
Oh, he'd get the Mask of Madness, I know. CTY Ursa was Mask of Madness.
I know he
into
bought
Ags,
that
I
Ags
believe.
though.
Yeah.
For some reason, he just hated BKB as a player.
It's like, it's close to BKB having the Ags.
It's not close.
You get out of stuns, you know. You can't get out of silence, but it's similar.
It's similar. Oh, Arrow
The
lands.
cooldown, you know.
I think that's gonna prompt NaVi to just Chow8 and a one.
That catches out 4!
Really nice play coming out from Chow8. The X is being used, maybe needs to be bursted out by NaVi. The 4-stuff is there from Chow8. The Yules as well, still doing damage. Can they finish off? Maybe, just barely. As NaVi have lost to Nico as well as their Aegis. Ursa not done, he's still trying to claw his way through heroes. Dendy TP out, the Boulder Smash will cancel it. A good fight for LGD around their ultimates. They take 2 kills and an Aegis.
Dyer's bottom tower is
And
under
only
attack.
lose Death Prophet. It's a bit of a big loss for them, but they'll take that. Now,
We enter that phase though, no ultis, NaVi. They want to keep fighting. They know there's no Ravage, no Exorcism.
They should just go for this right now. Without Exorcism or Ravage, I think if you notice already, LGD starting to split up a little bit as Aggressive makes his way down to this bottom lane, and here we see it again as Xiaowei barely manages to clip 4.
Yeah. Really nice Ravage from him, but still there was just not enough there to save the Death Prophet.
That maybe stayed alive for way longer than any right to, though.
Yeah. Selfless play from Artstyle, making sure Dendy could try to get out of there, but unfortunately there was still a stun available. LGD gets aggressive back into the game after a slow start from him. He's got an ulti ult to go with his Shadow Blade. Starting to get some items, and it will be the BKB pickup for Dichara on Ursa.
Anna Lincoln's is going to be the item of choice for this Slark, who does have a lot of mana regen problems, especially against that Necrobook. Probably like to see...
Old and sweet.
Not really sure. Death Prophet opts to go for the Rod of Atos.
That's interesting, and won't be as effective now that the BKB's there.
And that is still a 10-second BKB on Dichara. The problem for him, though, is at some point you are going to get kited. This Mirana is not scaling like you want her to, whereas the Slark is having no troubles catching up to Ursa. So NaVi gotta feel a little bit restless about this, as they're not taking advantage of the fact that all of these cooldowns aren't available. Now they're going to go for it, but with 20 seconds left on the clock, they've got to make a move right now.
Xiaowei in the front line, he's tracked up, but not going to waste those greaves, and with a team fight potentially brewing. 10 seconds on the Exorcism. It's too late for NaVi to fight without the ultimates. Not sure how well they've timed this, if they're still going to try and fight. Dichara once in, he BKBs, maybe it's the target, he got a target. He's being slowed down, he's being kited even in the BKB. Xiaowei, he's got the 4 stuff. Dichara, he's in trouble, that BKB is about to wear off. Dichara gets stunned, the Ravage prevents Artstyle coming in with the Grave. The Boulder Smash not out just yet. It's going to be Magnetize coming through. Artstyle didn't actually get clipped by it. Boulder Smash down, Ursa's dead, Artstyle's dead as well. NaVi want to re-engage. So Nico, what are you doing on the sides there? Be careful, my friend. The TP out, the dust is there. They get the disruption. And it's going to be a 3-0 LGD victory.
NaVi had such a huge window of opportunity to go. They had almost 2 minutes on all those cooldowns, and they waited for maybe the worst possible time as LGD. They take that fight. They're like, okay, you guys are actually going to dive by our tier 2 when we have everything available? That purge from the Shadow Demon, thing of beauty is it slows down the Ursa just enough for them to kite him around.
Well, LGD, if anything, kind of nullify what was once a NaVi lead. In terms of overall net worth, it's not even. Experience is, and momentum-wise and just scaling-wise, LGD looking a whole lot better as this game drags on.
They are in really good shape just because of the cores that they have. Whenever you can match cores with the Tidehunter, you're incredibly happy just because you know that he can be the difference maker in terms of enabling the damage for the other 2 cores on your team. That's what makes him so incredibly strong, David, when you can match cores like that. And if you look at NaVi, this Beastmaster not scaling like you'd like him to, this Mirana is definitely not at the point where she wants to be, and Ursa, this hero naturally just has to be ahead at all times in this game. The Roshan advantages that he always gives you.
I totally agree about the Tide. This is a hero whose win rate actually like drastically improves post 50-minute games. Like in 50-minute plus games, Tide's win rate increases by like 10%.
Yes.
It's ridiculous how well he can scale. BKBs get shorter. That's going to be a big problem for Ursa as time goes on.
And you get Shiva's Refresher Orb is probably one of the best pickups that you can possibly grab, and Aggressive doesn't have a lot of natural counters in this game. Like, he can just go off in a game like this, especially since he already counters one of the cores on Navi's side. This Mirana cannot leap out, she can't blink out when you decide to pounce on her.
No.
And he's just getting stronger and stronger, and this has to be a point of concern right now for NaVi, as they have whiffed their advantages away.
And Dendy has had a high impact game so far, the Mirana. He's got the typical Ags blink build, but we're not seeing his impact just yet. He's managed to, of course, maintain his farm, but not a hero that's going to match up great against Slark ever. You can't even escape if he ever finds you with that pounce, so...
Yeah, and they just... I mean, they can't really afford... If they get a gem and they throw it away, that just pretty much ruins Snakeo's game. You can no longer be that effective in these 5-man fights.
Here we go again. Ulti's back up. LGD ready to go once more. We've seen before kind of team fight they can put together around these ultis, and they want to do it once more.
And it looks like Navi has an inkling of an idea of what's going on right now as they just continue to split push, they circle the map, but it might not matter as General might get picked off here.
And it's just to barely link himself out of there. Dendi nearby as well, needs to be a bit careful, but I think recognizing this, Dicha is already pushing out this top lane.
Very good disengage.
Yep.
They have not found kills. This bounty hunter loses so much of that effectiveness when he just can't track anything. Still not level 11 yet. And the next Roshan of the game is going to be huge for Navi as they are centered around this area. Unfortunately for them, they're going to have to go through so many the ultimates from LGD.
Now, Aggressive will push out this top lane match and just immediately regroup up with his team. Shadowblades, he's actually going to find Dicha. There's a sentry there and he realizes he's been spotted. He backs off and bottom lane where the rest of LGD are huddled around, trying to ensure Roche doesn't go down. Puts some observer wards. It is very hard to maintain vision as Navi. One of the beauties of the Slack pick is that got that little radar.
They're gonna wait to deward. They know for a fact that wards went in there as they saw Seneko walk in and look at the vision from Navi right now. Once they lose those sets of wards, it's gonna be very hard for them to fight around this Roche pit as LGD. So many of their wards center around this pit. Even gonna bring in the courier.
The Greaves, just to get rid of the track, they're not looking to fight it this time, and they see Ursa top again, so realizing there's a bit of breathing room to deward this area of the map. Make sure Navi do not get the third Roche. They've taken the first two, that wasn't a problem for LGD to deal with, but not that the third is a problem, it's more that LGD do not need to give them a third Roche. You are much stronger than Navi in a team fight around the pit.
Yeah. I think LGD right now feel pretty comfortable about the pace of the game. They trust that their Slark can outscale, as is their Death Prophet. The two supports from LGD are kind of the reason why they lag in terms of the overall net worth chart. But they're spellcasters. They don't really need items at this point. Anything additional on top of that Force Staff or that Ghost Scepter is just going to be a luxury for them. Whereas Navi's supports, we want that Bounty Hunter to just have items so that he can do things other than just track and run, track and run.
You often see bounties with like Mech and then Solar Crest and having... Their impact in some of those late game fights is largely around those items. Not the case for Seneko right now. Dazzle is getting some decent pickups with the Greaves and now building into what looks to be a Solar Crest.
Post 40 minutes, you're right. It's a huge run rate bump.
Okay.
It was like 53% or something like that.
Not bad, not bad.
Alright, so LGD, they want to secure a fight before they go for the Roshan and for maybe the fourth time this game to find Artstyle by himself.
He's got a TP, but you can't do that now with the Grave wearing off. Aggressive will finish on the Dazzle, maybe goes in.
He almost gets crossed out by the Ursa, but the Yules is there. Boulder's Mass Destruction as well. Dicha being kited around. He has the clap and the...
Oh, gets him with the overpower.
Jiawei now on the run, has a Ravage. May not want to use it though, will do so. Where's Aggressive? They need the damage from the Slark. Instead, they're going to opt to run. It's a very defensive Ravage, and with the track on Jiawei, he's going to be chased down, brought down. Slark dead on the sidelines. He got picked off elsewhere, and now they're going to get a fourth. MMY is taken out as track kills mount up. Slark was outside of the fight.
I watched that fight. So he chased heroes in. He got his Linken's pop by the track. Then General just blew him up with the Roar plus the Necrobook combo. And you have to wonder why he decided he was going to go so far away from the rest of his team. He felt like he could assault that backline, but General just completely outplayed him in that fight. He was so patient during that. And I feel like if LGD stick as a ball and they play around their ultimates, they're so much stronger, but they weren't able to get anything off as a result.
The whole power of the Tide that you were talking about earlier was the ability for him to enable the force to down and stick next to your Tide if you're the Slark is pretty much the message there.
They weren't able to get both of their ultis off on the Slark or the Death Prophet.
It's fine that he goes ahead, gets that initial pickoff, but after you get the initial pickoff, that's when you group up. It's like, okay, 5v4 team fight coming, you stick with the Tide, you stick by the Death Prophet.
If he just keeps hitting the Ursa, he helps out. He gets on top of Dendi. Dendi's game is pretty much which it has been so far. Dendi's been so reluctant.
That's a refresher? General? Where's this farm coming from?
General's gone. That fight was almost entirely lost/won by General.
Okay. Jiawei without Ravage now has to defend the LGD high ground.
Navi feel very comfortable about this push. They've got Aegis and Chi available to them. And this back and forth game now entirely swings in Navi's favor.
Necrobooks will be dealt with. Aurora available. He can also resummon the Necrobooks with that refresher. Push continues. Xiaowei frontlining it. Has bought enough time for everyone to respawn, but more importantly, it's 30 seconds before Ravage is back up, but NaVi gonna slow down the pace a little.
They should be very comfortable, especially after that fight. Dendy's got a plethora of items. He's got the Ghost Scepter in his inventory, gonna go for that E-Blade. And LGD, I think, just reeling after that last fight. Communication errors aplenty.
It was a bit of what happened in the TNC LGD game 1, where LGD had a big advantage. We were up multiple racks. Big late game carries, but they just didn't find the team fights they needed. It looked like communication issues, so...
Aggressive just has to be more careful. You can't get that far away from his team, especially since he's got so many defensive abilities on his side, that if he gets roared, Fnatic can just... He can simply disrupt him away. They can reset the fight off of that. They've got 2 different Force Staffs on their team. They've got a Yule Scepter and a Ghost Scepter on a Maybe. They're in fine position to get into team fights.
Oh, aggressive chooses to go for General. He thought about art style twice, and instead, full disengage. That's the call from Xiaowei. The director says, let's fight another day. We're high ground defenders, remember. That's what we're known for.
Yeah.
Aggressive. Come on, what team are you on now? This isn't CDEC.
The same Great Wall.
We don't do none of that crazy stuff.
Just hold with buybacks. That's always been the principle.
Yep.
In the East is...
big
the
arrow.
Hit, and here comes the initiation.
Yep, they get initial battle to take out the disruption state. Ravage used purely defensively, and I don't think NaVi are going to care too much about that. They're going to lose 1 in the Beastmaster thanks to aggressive and maybe. Exorcism's still up, but Tide has been taken out. Teacher Ra getting a triple kill, and it's Zenji getting the 4th with a well-placed arrow. NaVi looking like they may be able to break through the LGD high ground here. Just 2 heroes to defend it. It is the 2 big cores in aggressive and maybe.
There's still that Aegis available on the Ursa and the Cheese left to go. NaVi just gonna start pummeling.
Ichira, he's braved up. That'll buy him some time, and the defusal takes out the Ghost Scepter. Aggressive. It could be a buyback if he's not careful. Dicha not going to chase any further. Objective Gaming.
Radiant's top tower.
What has happened in this game so far is NaVi beaten back in consecutive fights. All of a sudden, first to strike as they take out the racks. Now they're going to make their way up the top. Well, even if they buy back, they don't have any of their ultimates available, and I think NaVi well aware of that.
If anything, it's like LGD just running out of options here. Tiger be respawning soon. Problem is, this Ursa, he's got another life. He's still got the Aegis. The Grave will buy him some extra time to do some more damage on this life. He'll finally pop. Now LGD needs to do something. Dendy pops the cheese. He's looking for aggressive. 1 more, 2 more right clicks. He's not going to get it to Greaves. He'll save his life. The Shadow Demon Disruption there to help him as well. That could have been game over if you get the Slark there, I feel. Still looking very grim as Slark will TP back in. Who's he looking for? It's a long TP. MMY will roll himself in, and Dicha just going to turn and fight art style. He mans up with a blade now, doing some return damage here. Aggressive, taking hefty damage. Dendy blinks full, but doesn't have protection himself. Xiaowei tracks up. Back to the well he goes. He's aggressive once again, ready to fight. Maybe needs an exit. He doesn't have it. Here's General. Refreshed his raw earlier, and he's going to get the kill. Instantly dead on respawn. Means buyback is needed as aggressive skirts around the edge of the fight. He just can't find the kills. NaVi with too much sustain. Finally, they'll get Dicha as well as Dendy, but damage has been done to the LGD base. Melee racks claimed. And yes, you've lost 2 carries if you're NaVi. Maybe even a 3rd core, but it was LGD losing racks and more importantly, buying back.
Almost able to juke that out, but LGD knows he had nowhere to go. Whew. Still, like you said, 3 backs down, including a melee.
2, 3 buybacks. Slark's some time ago, but Death Prophet and Earth Spirit using it just then. Artsal fought back and got Boots of Travel. I'm not sure. I didn't actually see if he maybe his TP got cancelled, but tried to make a flashy play, I believe.
That's just the art style principle, man. Like, look at this guy's items. He's got
He's such a YOLO support play. This is like this as far as supports watch that make no sense but create chaos. Art style is the most chaotic support out there.
I know you said that in that last game too, with the TNC.
It's every game I watch. I think initially I thought it was a one-off. Now I'm like, no, it's every game.
It's what Still just kind of decides he's like, I'm gonna farm. I'm gonna have 2 different pairs of boots. I'll grab the Guardian Greaves guys, no problem. And
I'm gonna front line with a blade mail. Yep.
He's like, dude, they keep jumping on me. This makes sense. It seems like all right.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Whatever you say, art style is LGD. Got Ashivas completed on their Tidehunter as a result of all those kills. And Aggressive trying to make his way over. He's got the completed Shivas. Gonna help him in kiting a little bit more, but
this feels like a kind of all-in play from LGD. At least they're looking to force a team fight.
There is no Aegis cheat though.
Dendi gets a Dark Pact off. Lincoln's was popped, and as you mentioned, no Aegis, no cheese. NaVi will deward some of the visions from LGD. LGD know they can't really let NaVi get map control back, take another Roshan. Smoke up. They were under detection of this Observer Ward though. What's the play from LGD? It's a full-on retreat.
Yeah.
Hear themselves out. Arrows flying. Shouldn't land. They even LGD even smoked for the retreat.
And the scan was popped by them, just to confirm their suspicions is...
If you're LGD, I think you want a team fight, or...
Oh, Shao 8! Careful!
They're on the high ground. Initial track comes out on MMY, the invis from Mirana. Not much detection on the dire side. General for the first draw on MMY. Regression, he gets silenced, so can't get detection. Got absolutely nothing. Maybe being burst on the front line. He's still going to go Scepter. He gets burst before he can get out of the stuns. Aggressive is all that's left for LGD. No buyback on Death Prophet. There's the Ravage to help try bring down Dichara. His Ursa, though, has the backup of Artsal's Dazzle, and with that in mind, Aggressive likely to be brought down here. He's got to run. Got a Shadow Blade to help cover his retreat. The Magnetize doing a little bit of damage. Enough to bring down Bounty. Actually, Dendi being very low himself, but will survive. It's ulti's down for LGD. If NaVi want, they can regroup and go at LGD once more.
I think you reset, even with the Death Prophet respawning in, you know, for the second fight, she still has that buyback cooldown, not going to be able to do too much. Same with Aggressive, and more importantly, like you said, no Tide Ravage. Exorcism was used in vain.
That was one of his team fights that would have looked very different from the Dire perspective, because all those heroes were invis and there was no gem, no detection.
They had sentries, they just, for some reason, hesitated for so long. Now they finally place that sentry, as you see, but it comes at the end of the team fight.
Yeah.
If you could have had that from the get-go, NaVi were so clumped up.
So hard to take those fights when heroes are going in and out of invis. It's that Ricky-like effect where they're just like hiding you around by being invis. All 5 heroes. There's no way to team fight into Mirana Ultimate without detection.
Yeah, now he's dedicating it to cheese. This game looks so back and forth. From the get-go, we thought LGD had the advantage, and NaVi wrestled it back with that Roshan. Then LGD won consecutive team fights, and now we're in a situation where LGD are down 3 racks.
Potentially going to become worse. Tide Ravage down for 50 seconds, and NaVi, likely knowing that, will press forward with the Aegis cheese. Dendi just going to show himself to get this lane shoving. It's going to take this one pick off, 1 kill on one of these cores. Aggressive's buyback does come up fairly soon. 20 seconds away.
More of the problem, though, that his team can't really help him out in these fights without any ultis. And NaVi, they've got to get going. Made the mistake once of not counting their cooldowns. Got to know that LGD are hesitant to fight.
Dendi being delayed on the front lines. Nukes down Zhao 8 a bit. We'll force out the Guardian Greaves. Take that out of the picture for now. Aggressive, wary of a potential roar. He's tracked once more, but can continue to purge it off. And I think for NaVi, it's just slow and steady. Siege this base, wait for your opportunities. The hero out of position, or if not, just keep chipping away.
Another read goes down on all the NaVi heroes.
And Nico doing what he needs to do, just continuing to spam that track. It's not a fast push when Mirana's your building right clicker. Here goes MMY, he wants Artsal. The Ravage doesn't catch him, and Artsal says, hey, hello to my blade mail. I'm gonna run in, he grazed himself as well. We've seen that one before, but this time around it's to NaVi's advantage. It's Dendi trying to do damage on the front lines. Aggressive BKB, giving him some space and room to pump, but he's just an Ursa Aegis.
Question is, what's the second life bring? Ra, he's being controlled, he does have an ultimate, he's now graved up as well, perhaps a bit early, but it's not going to matter immediately. Aggressive.
They need to take down Maybe here.
Yeah, maybe. He's still doing a lot of damage. It's the first time we've really seen the power of that ultimate. He's going to use himself as well. Aggressive. He's roared up. Didn't get the dark kite off, but the defensive disruption will cover him. He's back to safety. I dead. LGD. Like, I would describe that as a well-executed fight for LGD, but they killed nothing. They lost tier 4 towers.
General held on to the second roar for so long.
Yeah.
He had multiple opportunities to go for maybe, but it looked like he was just locked in, getting it down onto aggressive. During that time, LGD have lost so much. Structural damage has been done as they lost that range rack to top and both tier 4 towers mid. Now they have to deal with that. Now they have no ultimates to work with.
It was an Aegis for your ultimates, and for your ultimates and tier 4 towers.
That was, I kind of agreed with you. I thought that was a pretty successful fight for
just
LGD.
watching how LGD play it, like they were landing all their spells, hiding the Ursa, you know? Yeah, and that's probably why we're biased saying it's such a good fight, because that's the only team fight we've seen.
That was what the best fight looked like for LGD.
Full refresher from Death Prophet.
Arsenal just runs in with Blade Mill on him.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to create the space to take the racks. Something NaVi don't do well is push buildings, and with Exorcism back up if he needs to refresh. He doesn't want to pop the refresher, but he has to with 30 seconds of downtime. Maybe he's going to let go. Nico, he bladed up to help him out. Nicely played by Denji to help his buddy out. Maybe going to throw himself up in the air with the Yules, and I think this will repel NaVi. They can just say, wait a second, he just refreshed his Exorcism. Let's just wait for this to wear off, unless we can burst him. Gerard tried to have another go. I think they realized that was not going to work, and the throne down to half HP. They're just torn between defending the throne and defending these racks, with both middle lane and top lane continually pushing in, and uh-oh. Maybe. We'll be healed up in a second due to the Exorcism. And there we go.
Doesn't want to see his ghost come back to him though. Now NaVi know that was the refresher reveal from the Death Prophets. Had to use it just to defend, but LGD in a do or die situation is NaVi are just going to wait for their Dazzle to respawn and try once again for that exposed racks.
Artstyle like almost completing an AC, by the way.
Dude, Artstyle, that was hilarious. He just ran in. He popped his blade draw. That was the best part. And LGD was so confused. Like, are we supposed to kill you?
He wants the slug to go on him so that he can like break the linkage and then they roar him or something, for example.
Oh, aggressive?
He can trying to make some solo plays here. That Boulder Smash not going to land with the 4-star. Feature out on the run. Has a cheese though. And where is the detection? It is on aggressive. This time around they've got a gem, but they haven't got the ability to keep NaVi in place.
Perfect.
Oh, 25 essence shift charge. Aggressive wants to fight. With all this essence shift, he's got so much agi. Problem is, can't lock down heroes.
NaVi, they're happy to reset. They've got room to grow on all their heroes. Roshan is going to respawn anytime. 3 minutes away is Dityara has the cheese available to him, and pretty sure, yeah, Tide Ravage is available. They don't have the Exorcism, but in 30 short seconds they're going to grab it. No. And I think NaVi might have missed their window, although I think they're still okay to take a fight. We saw what an ideal fight looked like for LGD. That was losing their Tide and nobody else.
It does get a bit harder with double Exorcism in fights if you can keep Death alive. Not to mention, like, the Ursa Diffusal charges are running a bit low. He's only got 3 left, and there's a lot of Ghost Scepters. Actually, no,
she sold hers.
Oh, okay.
To get it was the all-in play.
So she sold Ghost Scepter and no bottle, no Ghost Scepter, none of those little old cheap items. So you gotta wait for the art style AC, you know. It's the game changer, apparently.
You laugh, but he's gonna get it.
I'm not laughing. I'm entertained. That's why I laugh.
He's so close to it. Style's the best.
He inspires me, like, to play support in pubs.
If I told you who's got plate mail, a blade mail, Guardian Greaves, and a Hyperstone, you would not think Dazzle is your first guess.
No. Now, if you told me Artstyle was in the game, I'd probably maybe pick him. But any other Dazzle player.
7 of supports. Yeah. Artstyle's gonna pop that blade mail.
They do go with him, but then the roll comes out aggressive. These BKB, they can't protect it. Slark dead for 100. The Ravage will finish off Artstyle. Dietrich could be in some trouble here. Maybe he's got double ultimate if he needs it. First one for now, getting them a couple of kills. Dunn will catch up to Nico, and NaVi have been slowed down at this point.
Gotta deal with their base though is GD. Then NaVi, they don't have the best way to take these racks like you said.
It's an insta buyback from Tide. I think recognizing he needs to be alive just to keep these lanes pushed out. Having Slark and Tide dead doesn't work, because Death Prophet doesn't even push lanes very well. I mean, Tide doesn't amazingly well either. That's a terrible thing for LGD, and that's why the tier 4 towers fell so fast and why the throne keeps taking damage is they have no hero to outspam. At least not against these super creeps.
He's just spamming out wherever he can. Good news for GD though, it kind of looks like their fights are going okay now.
Yeah, team fight wise, should be. Versus, I mean, you're looking at 5-second BKB, 2 defusal charges left. I guess he can rebuy that at some point if he thinks he needs it. Mirana, Dagon 5, or Dagon 3 E-Blade. A lot of damage output from Dendi, but there's now a pipe on the dire side. There's a hood on Shadow Demon, just the casual hood.
No tower damage from NaVi is the big...
There is 2 casual hoods and a pipe on LGD. They recognize where the damage is coming from. If you can hide Ursa, it's just Dendi.
Dendi, even with that full combo, doesn't even really dent Banana. That was not that impressive.
Odd smoke as it looks like they're trying to catch General up top. General was going for the cheeky play, going for the throne. Find it.
There's a glyph available for LGD, which is going to be pretty big for them.
Well, now the quote-unquote rat Dota plays come in. Dendi just chipping at the range racks at bottom. Does about 200 damage, then blinks out.
Not regen. At least the range racks.
And I still feel NaVi in such a great position, even though their team fight, even though they can't really win team fights, it's just you're up racks and your opponents can't push lanes out.
Yeah.
The only way LG really win is if they team wipe a NaVi, and NaVi can just not team fight. They can kind of push top with Beastmaster, push bottom with Mirana, push out all 3 lanes.
Aegis Chi is going to come up once again. Maybe DRR decides to drop that Diffusal Blade for the time being.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Especially since maybe doesn't have that Ghost Scepter anymore. I mean, the only person that does on his team is the Shadow Demon, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
If you blink on Shadow Demon and get the Master Abyssal, you can kill her anyways.
Maybe even drop his boots, one or the other.
Yeah. See what happens. Aegis there, Dicha.
Oh, it's the BKB.
Okay, BKB down.
Somebody take the cheese,
guys. Beastmaster has 1 cheese.
That's still an item.
Come on, double cheese it up. Nope. Hey, they still have 2 cheeses and an Aegis.
They have a lot to work with, but I think the last 2 fights kind of deterred them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, hero composition-wise, it's not a matter of items when you're fighting into Tide Death Prophet with a Refresher on Death Prophet. Even the Slark with the farm he has. I like the Maelstrom figure. We talked about needing some deep push. At least a way to push out these lanes faster and clear top and mid lane. This is the item that will help do that.
I think he's already prepped in case of Mega Creeps as well. Because I think LGD have every intent of holding even with Mega Creeps. Like, they won't just tap out like a lot of teams would.
They're going to make NaVi win the game, not just tap out. Here we go, blink in from Xiaowei, trying to force something.
Aggressive move. Force the pipe as well, and the Guardian Greaves.
He's just posturing, blinking with the Roar. Brent is caught out by this one with the Broken Linkers. There's the Ravage. Catches Dietrich without a BKB. But he's got the Aegis aggressive on the front line. Shadow dancing to heal himself back up. He's still fighting. The blade mail is there. Artstyle so tanky. So much armor on this Dazzle. That was plus 41 before he finally went down. Maybe on the Death Prophet. The X is doing some good work there. Lost the range tracks, but that's still just the range tracks. Aggressive needs to survive the full stuff.
General just going for the throne.
Oh no, not the throne. Dietrich may go for the throne as well. General will zone him out. No glyph available. It looks like this could be it. No control, Dietrich wants it, he'll get it. LGD bested in game 1. NaVi finally figured out, hey, Ursa Mirana, they don't push buildings, we got General, he can do it. Dendi and
General just kind of
Dietrich will
ignored his
create
team in that
space.
fight. It's like, I think that has to be a disappointing game for LGD.